In a quiet corner of India, far from the bustling cities and endless noise, lived a renowned Buddhist monk. His life was dedicated to meditation, and his wisdom spread far and wide, reaching even the most powerful individuals in the land. The monk believed that true peace could only be found within, and he often shared this profound truth with his students. One day, a troubled king made his way to the monk's peaceful retreat, seeking help. "I have everything I could want," the king said, his voice laced with frustration, wealth, fame, and all the luxuries of life. "But despite this, my mind is restless, never at ease. I am overwhelmed, and I cannot find peace. What is the secret to tranquility?" The monk, ever calm, looked at the king and replied, "You already hold the key to your peace within you, but you've never truly discovered it." Intrigued yet desperate for relief, the king asked the monk to show him the way. "I would like to propose an experiment," the monk said. "For the next 15 days, you will stay here in silence, with little to no conversation. You will observe, you will listen, but you will speak as little as possible. By the end of this period, your restlessness will be gone." The king, eager to regain control of his mind, agreed. Though he initially resisted the simplicity of this suggestion, he was willing to follow the monk's guidance. On the first day, the king found himself struggling. His thoughts raced with questions and distractions. It felt unnatural to remain silent, and a sense of unease lingered. But as the day passed, something remarkable began to happen. With each hour of silence, his mind grew quieter and more peaceful. At night, he noticed a calmness settling over him, a peace he hadn't experienced in years. The next morning, he sat alone, watching the flowers bloom, the birds take flight, and the sky change colors. For the first time, he felt deeply connected to the world around him, something he had never allowed himself to experience amidst his hectic life. Days turned into weeks. The king's mind, once chaotic and filled with negativity, grew still. The world around him seemed to slow down, and with each passing moment, his restlessness diminished. By the 12th day, the king found himself effortlessly slipping into deep meditation. His eyes closed, and his thoughts faded into the background. He felt as though he were part of the universe itself, untroubled, at peace, and free from the endless swirl of worries. When the 15 days came to a close, the king approached the monk, transformed. He thanked the monk for his guidance and shared what he had learned. "Respected monk," the king began, his voice calm but filled with newfound clarity, "I now understand what troubled me. I used to talk too much, always speaking without purpose and spending too much energy on negative thoughts about others. I wasted my time and distracted my mind. This constant chatter, both with others and within myself, led me to failure and, in turn, made me more unhappy. But now, after this experience, I've learned that silence and the peace it brings is the true key to clarity and success." The monk smiled, his eyes filled with understanding. "You have learned the lesson of silence, my friend. The quiet of the mind is where true peace resides. When we speak less, we can listen more to ourselves, to others, and the world around us." And so, the king returned to his kingdom, a different man. His restless mind had found peace, not through the accumulation of riches or titles, but through the simplicity of silence. The king, having completed his 15 days of silence, stood before the monk, a changed man. The peace he had discovered within himself was unlike anything he had ever experienced. "I've learned so much during this time," the king said, his voice filled with newfound clarity. "Before these 15 days, I was living my life all wrong. I was restless, always talking, always chasing after distractions. But now, I feel like I'm truly living." The monk nodded. "You are not alone in this. Many people in the world speak too much, even today. Speech, when not controlled, has the power to harm. We use words to hurt others, to fill the silence, to avoid facing our inner turmoil. It's an endless cycle of noise that disturbs the mind." The monk shared a story to deepen the king's understanding. Gautama Buddha was once asked by a student why he was often silent. Buddha replied, "I stay silent to dive deep within myself. Silence is the first step to truly knowing yourself. Without silence, self-discovery is impossible." The monk continued, "Many people think they must always talk, but in truth, silence is the foundation of peace. Silence gives you the space to connect with your innermost thoughts, to observe the world without interference, and to understand yourself more deeply. You see, most of our speech, about 90%, is unnecessary. It often leads to problems, misunderstandings, and conflict. If people could just learn to speak less, many issues would be resolved. There would be fewer arguments, less tension, and more harmony." The king listened intently as the monk explained the power of silence in a world full of noise. When you learn to be silent, you don't need to avoid people. You can be at peace in a crowd, or even alone in solitude. Sometimes the presence of others makes us uncomfortable because we are not at peace with ourselves. But by embracing silence, you can create an oasis of calm within. You can begin your day with peace, even before you speak a word. The monk then spoke of the importance of inner reflection. If you ever wake up feeling disturbed, close your eyes and reconnect with your inner self. That's where life truly begins. That's where happiness is born. The world outside can never give you what you need inside. To find peace, you must look inward. And when you do, you will find that you are the true ruler of your inner world. Your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions, they all originate from within you. The king nodded, understanding the deep wisdom in the monk's words. "But what about speaking?" he asked. "How can we speak if silence is so important?" The monk smiled. "You can speak without losing your inner peace. When you learn to maintain silence within, your words will come from a place of calm and clarity. Your speech will flow like music in harmony with the universe. And when you speak from that place, your words will have power. They will touch others deeply, and you will not be disturbed by the noise of the world." The monk paused before continuing. When you find your inner silence, you tap into a deep, unshakable strength. You break free from the pressures of society, and you live with a special joy, the same joy that comes from following your true path. Your life will shine brighter, and your eyes will reflect a unique light. The king thought about this for a moment, then said, "I see now that talking too much does not bring peace. It only makes it harder to control our thoughts, to stay focused. It distracts us from our goals and keeps us from truly understanding life's meaning." The monk nodded. "Yes, my friend. The more we talk, the less we truly see. It's in silence, in stillness, that we find clarity. The king's realization of the power of silence marked a turning point in his life. He understood that excessive talking often led to a troubled mind and distracted him from his true goals. Those who speak less but with purpose are often respected more because their words carry weight. People listen carefully when someone is deliberate in their speech. In contrast, those who talk too much, often without thinking, may face mockery or contempt, and their relationships and reputation suffer as a result. The monks shared the wisdom passed down through generations. True intelligence lies in knowing when, where, and what to say. Those who master this skill often succeed in various aspects of life. Great leaders, thinkers, and individuals throughout history have used few words, carefully considering their speeches. It is not about quantity but quality. The ability to be heard and respected is grounded in patience and awareness. He reminded the king that speaking without mindfulness often leads to unnecessary negativity. Spreading gossip or dishonesty only damages relationships, while silence offers a refuge for reflection and clarity. The more we talk, the less we listen to our true desires, and the noise of the world clouds our judgment. Spending time in solitude, the monk advised, is the key to true self-awareness and growth. He recommended spending at least 20 minutes each day alone, allowing space for contemplation. Through such practices, one could discover the calm and strength that comes from within, ultimately leading to a more fulfilled life. As the monk concluded the lesson, he invited the king and all who listened to join a community of like-minded seekers. The monk spoke of a journey of wisdom and enlightenment, a journey shared by those who recognize the value of silence and mindfulness. If this story has inspired you, he said, please support us by liking this video, sharing it, and commenting with your thoughts or any Zen stories you'd like to hear next. For more moments of peace and motivation, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your engagement helps us continue this path of wisdom together. With the monk's teachings, the king felt a newfound sense of clarity. It was not about achieving success by speaking louder or more often. It was about cultivating inner peace, understanding when to speak, and knowing the right moments to remain silent. The journey of self-discovery, as the monk showed him, had only just begun.